Panthers Nation, brace yourselves, because a major rumor has put one of the biggest stars in Penrith's recent history at the center of a potential bombshell for 2027. But before I give you all the details, Panthers fan, make sure you hit that like button, because here you'll be the first to receive the latest updates and breaking news from the Penrith Panthers. Nathan Cleary, the number 7, leader, playmaker and multiple-time premiership winner for the Panthers, could be facing a decision nobody in Penrith would even want to imagine, leaving the club when his current contract expires and making the move to the New Zealand Warriors. Now, take a breath, Panthers fan. There is no confirmation that Nathan Cleary is leaving the Panthers. What we have is speculation that has gained momentum because of one family connection that could completely change the picture over the coming years: the presence of his younger brother, Jet Cleary, at the Warriors. And if this possibility genuinely starts to develop, we could be looking at one of the biggest NIL storylines heading into 2027. Just imagine it for a moment: Nathan Cleary running onto the field without the Panthers jersey, wearing another club's colors and controlling a rival side. For a fan base that has become accustomed to seeing him as the brains behind one of the most successful eras in Penrith's history, it would be incredibly difficult to accept. The family connection. The biggest fuel behind this speculation is family. Jet Cleary, Nathan's younger brother, is linked with the New Zealand Warriors, and that opens up a possibility that, not long ago, seemed extremely unlikely: the two Cleary brothers playing together at NIL level. That family connection is exactly what makes this story so fascinating. Nathan has built virtually his entire professional career at Penrith. It was at the club where he developed into one of the competition's premier halfbacks, took on enormous responsibility and established himself as one of the most important figures in the Panthers' recent history. That's why a potential move would not simply be another career decision. It could completely change the balance of power in the NIL. At the same time, the idea of the two Cleary brothers sharing the same NIL squad is easy to understand as a family dream. And that is exactly where the speculation begins. If Jet manages to establish himself at the Warriors, could Nathan eventually consider joining his younger brother once his current commitment to Penrith comes to an end? That is the question, leaving plenty of Panthers fans feeling uneasy. Warriors ready to break the bank? There is another ingredient that makes this possibility even more explosive: money. Speculation surrounding Nathan Cleary's future points towards the possibility of a massive offer if a club can actually convince him to leave Penrith. And among the figures being discussed is one that would make any rugby league fan stop and pay attention: a contract worth around $2 million per season. That would be an extraordinary offer and would place Nathan in an even more privileged position within the NIL. For the Warriors, though, this would not simply be about signing another player. It would be about convincing one of the biggest names in the competition to leave the environment where he built his career and take charge of a completely different project. The silence is only fueling the curiosity. While there is no confirmation that Nathan is leaving, there is also no reason to treat this speculation as a completed transfer. Nathan remains a central part of Penrith's plans, and any decision about his future would depend on a range of different factors. But when you are talking about a player of Nathan Cleary's caliber, even uncertainty surrounding his future is enough to create enormous attention. And the fact that Nathan has a direct family connection with a Warriors player naturally adds even more fuel to the questions. Panthers fans want to know, what happens after 2027? Will Nathan Cleary still be the man leading the Panthers? Or could the possibility of finally playing alongside his brother become a factor at some point? For Penrith, the ideal scenario is obvious: keep Nathan Cleary as the club's main man for many more years. Because replacing a player of his caliber is not simply a matter of signing another halfback. Nathan represents far more than individual talent. He represents leadership, experience, identity, and a deep connection with the Panthers project. If he were to leave one day, it would create a massive hole in the squad. So, Panthers fan, now I want to hear from you. Can you imagine Nathan Cleary wearing the Warriors jersey in 2027? If the decision were yours, should Nathan stay at Penrith at all costs? Yes or no? I want to know exactly what you think. Drop your answer in the comments and become part of our Panthers fan community. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay across all the latest Penrith Panthers news, rumors, and updates. If the speculation surrounding Nathan Cleary was already enough to leave any Panthers fan worried, there is now another major issue on the table. Martin is reportedly demanding a significant financial package to remain at Penrith, while the clock is ticking and rival clubs are starting to circle. Liam Martin, the tireless number 11, is at the center of $1 million battle that could turn the Panthers' future into a genuine bidding war. And the worst part? 3 NIL giants are reportedly keeping a close eye on the situation, waiting for the slightest opening to make their move. The first major threat comes from Melbourne. The Storm know exactly how valuable players are who can perform at high intensity, defend for long periods and keep their heads in the biggest moments. Martin would naturally fit into a team built to compete at the top of the NIL year after year. And there is another factor that makes this scenario particularly frightening for Penrith. Melbourne wouldn't just be signing Martin. They could be taking one of the key pieces away from a direct premiership rival. Imagine the number 11 running onto the field against the Panthers wearing the Storm jersey. For Penrith fans, that would be one of those scenarios that would be incredibly difficult to accept. And if Melbourne genuinely enters the race aggressively, the Panthers management will have to respond quickly. The second contender is the Brisbane Broncos. Brisbane are always under pressure to build a squad capable of challenging for premierships, and Martin could represent exactly the type of signing that changes the makeup of a team. His intensity, experience, and ability to perform in big games would be incredibly valuable to the Broncos. On top of that, there is a financial reason to keep a very close eye on this potential move. If Brisbane can find enough room under the salary cap, they could put forward an offer that would leave Penrith facing an extremely difficult decision. Match the offer and keep Martin? Or set a financial limit and risk watching him walk away? That is the nightmare the Panthers management needs to avoid. And then there are the Canberra Raiders. They may not be mentioned as often as Melbourne and Brisbane when it comes to this potential race, but that certainly does not make them a lesser threat. Quite the opposite. Canberra could see Martin as a strategic signing capable of transforming their forward pack and adding proven leadership to the squad. If the Raiders have enough room financially when the market opens, they could enter the race with an aggressive offer. And when three clubs are prepared to negotiate, the player gains even more leverage. The more interested clubs there are, the greater the pressure on Penrith. The Panthers simply cannot open the checkbook and solve everything. The reality of the salary cap forces the club's management to make extremely difficult decisions. Every dollar committed to one player could potentially be needed to retain another. The departure of Brian Tuo, already lined up for next year, adds even more to the feeling that the squad is entering a period of major change. At the same time, the futures of key figures such as Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo also require careful planning. So the inevitable question is, how much are Penrith willing to pay to keep Liam Martin? Offering $1 million per season could secure the future of one of the team's most important players. But it could also limit the club's ability to re-sign other key members of the squad. On the other hand, saving money now could mean losing Martin and watching a rival turn the number 11 into one of its biggest stars. And that is a decision no Panthers fan would want to make. Would you pay $1 million per season to make sure Liam Martin stays at Penrith? Or do you think the club should set a financial limit and let the market decide? Yes or no? Leave your honest opinion in the comments below, because your opinion is extremely important. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because here you'll get all the latest Penrith Panthers news firsthand, quickly and reliably.